We came so close to winning a Super Bowl in this series. We've put together a special team this year, and last episode, we almost pulled it off. We had one of the greatest plays I think I've ever seen in Madden, forcing the game to overtime on a last-second touchdown to Tommy Falk. But overtime did not go our way, and the Baltimore Ravens walked it off with a touchdown, which means we still have not accomplished our goal in this series of turning the Lions into a Super Bowl winner. But man, that's as close as you can come without getting there. Today I'm giving it one more shot, a last chance with the Detroit Lions to turn this team into a Super Bowl winner. And I've really enjoyed our 4 years of building this team up around quarterback Irvin Jameson. I've even thought about, is there anybody from this series that would be fun to do a prequel Road to Glory with? I mean, you can always consider quarterbacks because they're the face of the team, usually. But I've been hungry to do one of those prequel Road to Glories at some point. And I think we'd have a couple options from this series. But we're going to give it one more off season with the idea that this is our last chance to bring the Lions to the Super Bowl. And we'll see what opportunities are out there in the off season. We do have $100 million in cap space. We have a couple key free agents that we'll have to take care of, but will there be a chance for us to put this team over the edge? This year we changed our scheme up, and I think that in the second half of the year we really had some positive results with our passing game. We were a top 5 scoring offense as well. 25.1 points per game is really good in this game. I think scoring's a little bit up in the NFL since this. Defensively, we had the most sacks in the NFL and the most interceptions, and only allowed 325 points, which was above average. So really put the pieces together this year. This was a Super Bowl caliber team. For sure, I think you have to consider an impact third receiver just to really put the offense over the top. We have 2 really good running backs. We have 1 elite caliber receiver, and then Nathan Fitzgerald and Casey Cooks, who might have to work on his hands a little bit in the offseason, is there. Got Morgan at tight end. The offensive line is pretty solid, though. I'm glad I don't have to think about that too much, but just get the best playmaker, perhaps, that we can, and hopefully don't lose anything defensively. Everything worked last year. But obviously the secondary isn't spectacular. We can add someone there. So we'll see how much money we have after re-signings. Starting off with Ellis Chapman, who was on the team when I took them over. And we sign him to a 3-year extension. We'll look to sign Jason Ramsey as well. Let's just make this about $10 million a season. Very close. Pat Pounds is looking for $15 million a season. And I, again, want to just keep around these good veterans, hoping to not replace really good players. And he's going to test free agency unless we're willing to tag him. Nate Morgan's all right, but I think I'll wait to see what free agency offers. He's only a 77 overall, and statistically last year, only 115 yards. I think we're missing somebody here. Yeah, obviously, TJ Hawkinson decided to retire. That was one of our storylines late in the season. So, Hawkinson's done. We have to replace him. Fred Warner retired. So those are 2 roles immediately we have to think about, and losing Warner just makes me want to keep around Pat Pounds even more. Franchise tag might be a good option for that. Javier Logan at safety. I'm probably going to try to bring him back. At the very least, this is good depth money at the same time, but he doesn't want it. And we'll let some of these 73 overall players go, and that's going to include wide receiver Casey Cooks. I think we're going to let him test. Look to make more of an impact, I think, with that third receiver role. And we'll let Deontay Reed go. But Nathan Fitzgerald, yeah, I mean, he wants over $12 million a season. But he is the number 21 ranked receiver. So he's obviously very good. I'd like to keep him around. And he does sign. And he's only 25, so Like, this wouldn't be a bad long-term move either. Solomon Bryson, Le'Veon Conley. We're talking $10 million a year for a cornerback that is 78 overall. $3 million here for Bryson. And I think I'm okay with that offer. He's not. So a lot of this is going to go to free agency. Taylor Rapp as well. Jamison Dorsett. Yes, that worked. Diego Chavez turns us down. Lyle Swift does sign. So it comes down to the franchise tag, and I think I'm better off just using it on Pat Pounds. I mean, he already wants $15 million a year, and 16.8 isn't a whole lot above that. So we'll tag him and leave us something left over for free agency, where we'd love to bring in a tight end, maybe a third receiver, secondary help, and a Fred Warner replacement. Please give us something to do here. We don't have a ton of space at the moment. $30 million. So Nick Bosa becomes available. We're good with our front seven. Kevin Hughes, Frederick Houston. That's a signing that might be good for us. Offensive line is good. We're not going to think about that. Delvin Royal, I already drafted you one time. And then tight end, the markets could be pretty competitive. Receiver doesn't look great, and the Texans have already offered it Casey Cooks. And then you have to consider, like, we pick at 31st overall. So we definitely need to think about if it's more valuable to trade that pick or to spend it. I know well from playing this game a lot. I have 1,200 hours playing this game. The tight ends in the draft aren't very good, especially if you're not picking, like, very high. So I already think that that might have to be something we trade for if we care to have an impact player. But I feel like you can't go into the season, I don't want to, without a really good replacement for Cooks and Hawkinson. So part of this is we need to go to the draft and at least scout some of the prospects and see what our options are late first. You have so many choices here at wide receiver, all around the same overall. We'll probably find somebody that'll take a cheap deal. But with $31 million, we have to actually start kind of being strategic with signings. You can also bring back Nate Morgan and just accept that you probably won't have like an elite caliber tight end. Like, how good are the tight ends even in the league? I'm sure TJ was one of the top 5. Yeah, there are barely any that are in the 80s. Like, the XP sliders on default are pretty bad in this game. So, like, 77, 78, that still gets you an average starter. Let's see if Nate Morgan takes, like, $5 million or so. I want to make it good enough to maybe get him to say yes after one round. I feel like you have to go above 50 points. But let's go closer to 6. Yeah, 61. And then do we try to make a splash here with Frederick Houston? He is the best corner available. He's also number 7 in the NFL. So a top 10 corner. I think we have to be interested. Can't believe our defense was as good as it was last year with the secondary. That already brings us down to like 10 million. And if we sign these players, we have like 43 players. We're going to have to fill out a lot with depth. And you have to wonder, like, do we need to go make some room? You got Jamison counting 22.8 towards the cap, which doesn't feel like a lot. We got Lawrence, though, 17. Pounds just became 16.8. Hannah, 16.7. So that defensive front is eating away a lot at our funds. It makes you wonder, like, combined, we're paying $17 million to running backs right now. Do we need to have both of them for this year? We have a couple ways we can create some cap space. I think that Harvey McLeod making like $4 million a year towards the cap is somebody we could look to move. But I think also Sean McMillan on the trade block. You know, we like him in this series. He has history with both chapters of it. Be a little heartless of me, but I'm trying to win a title. We'll see if it comes down to it, but if those guys sign, I mean 42 players, you're going to have to make some room. Or just not go for Frederick Houston You have some okay options, but even they are probably not going to take, $5 million. So that's why I want to go get at least one impact guy. Oh yeah, we don't have a starting safety anywhere. I don't think we can give this offer to Houston then. We have the ability to create some space. But how am I going to field a starting secondary with this kind of budget? So you can play Martin Decker. 25th ranked free safety. We drafted him to eventually start. You know what? It's his time. So that's one spot filled. But I think you have like Swift and Monroe are more so like fourth corners. What's a 72 considered in this franchise? Is it top? I need like top 70 to 80 to feel okay playing him as a slot. And Monroe is 115. So he's not a top 3 caliber center or cornerback. Even if I cut McLeod, like I still have to eat a portion of that money. We can free 3. Might need that 3. And you may have to count on a guy like Derek Kocher replacing Fred Warner or something. Because Warner was kind of a luxury for us to have last year. We had the space to bring in a good vet. But yeah, it's tight, This is not the year to be dealing with cap struggles for sure. CJ Gardner-Johnson. Can we possibly get a deal done with him? Starting at strong safety. I am going to be so cheap today. I hope something works. Don't even have a starting punter right now. We'll have to think about that. So why don't we start here and then think about what we have to do. Tough decisions may have to be made today. Well, we did get Houston, Morgan, and that is it from the first round. So that does ensure, we don't have much cap space. We need to go make some room. So, CJ Gardner-Johnson still out there. So the question also becomes, do you try to cut Sean McMillan and sign him back for less? Or do you just trade him so you can get something in return? Well, I don't think that the cutting is going to work because we have to eat too much dead money. So, man, I wish Madden let you do restructures and pay cuts and stuff like that. Basically, I think even if we trade him, we have to eat some of that money. A lot of these deals, we just can't create enough space to consider cutting and trying to re-sign a player. It's not really a Madden strategy I've employed very often. This would be a time where teams would be restructuring the heck out of this roster. We just signed Jamison Dorsett, but I think that we need to go maybe trade him somewhere where he can play. The Bengals need a guard badly. I wonder if we could get just a starting caliber corner from them. Jalen Bruton. They've already paid him 4 to 5, so it'd kind of be a good contract swap as far as the value goes. And we'd have to give up more for this to work. And it's going to be by no means easy to close this gap. Let's take a break to check out this year's draft class, and we have some more scouting points we can spend. I think one of our main things we're looking at here is going to be corner. So we have a couple guys with first round talent, thankfully, but Myron Pearman likely goes extremely early. Dorian Dillard, probably not at 31. And then Russ Grant, early second projection, early first talent. I wouldn't be confident in that. Could we trade up, though? Possibly that would work. Otherwise, you do go down the board. Alani Aldridge might actually be there at 31 for us. And then you have some second round talents as well. At safety, we have a few guys here that could be pretty good values. Early first talent on Donovan James. Really good athlete. You're telling me he ran 4.4, has really good man coverage, but he's not playing corner. Although I can't think of a single corner that's 5'9", 221. That's like a running back build. And then, I always like to prioritize the RB2 role. And if we traded away Sean McMillan, we'd have to fill that. Can you do that with a third rounder? usually in Madden. I don't think so. Maybe a second round talent could play on occasion. The receivers here that could make a difference, I just think they're going to end up going way too early for us. All three of these guys should be off the board in the first 15, 20 picks. We got the deal done with the Bengals. I sent them both Dorsett and McLeod. Allows us to save a little bit of money. They liked both players. We get Bruton in return, so we have a starting corner. All in all, I think that might have given us a little cap space or been mostly just canceled out, but fills an important need for us. So, man, we just have no depth right now. If injuries happen this year, it's just kind of game over. But Bruton there is the 2. Monroe might have to show if he's the 3. Might just have to be that way. But we still have good line depth with Warren and Rousseau here. We lost our backup tackle, whose name escapes me. But, yeah, this is just so tough right now. I mean, we had our shot, and we spent it on a tight end and a corner. We're still, you know, have this offer out there for CJ Gardner-Johnson. If I withdraw that, we have a little more space. So that's at $3 million. I'm still going to keep that offer out there. Javier Logan ended up getting $8 million over 2 years. And also Casey Cooks, 26 over 3. I was never going to do that deal. You also have to consider keeping both running backs. What if Chauncey Best became the slot receiver? Because he has the route running and the hands to do that at least somewhat well. What if he plays like a hybrid role for us? We move on to the next stage of free agency. And we do get CJ Gardner-Johnson, so that helps the secondary a lot. We now have, I think, our starting secondary mostly in place. Maybe we can draft a third corner. Otherwise, this will have to be what we go into the season with. $18 million available right now in cap space. It holds on to 8 for rookie reserve. So you can sign your picks, basically. So around $8 million then in free agency is what we have left over. And I'm still trying to bring back William Amerson. I'm putting out the lowest possible offer here that it will let me, just to see what happens. You know, I'll go to like $900K on Emmanuel Harrison. 5th-year option call on Jeffrey Durr. Not going to impact us in this series, but I'll pick him up. We got Amerson back, so we have a kicker, we have a punter, we have our starters pretty much figured out. And the draft pretty much has to figure out the rest for us. Right now, our third receiver is D'Angelo Green. 110th ranked wide receiver, deep threat. I don't think he's even played in this series. He has no career catches. You can look at receiver. I think depth in general is something we need to look at, especially on defense. We have like 3 linebackers on the roster. No depth behind our defensive line. It's not fun to think about. On we go to the 2032 NFL Draft. I'll consider trading up, but not this early. Especially because in this range, these players actually have pretty big year 1 contracts as far as rookies are concerned. And I don't want that kind of cap number for a rookie. Let's get past the division rivals here and think about the board now. The corners are still really intriguing. We have a couple options, Grant and Dillard. Dorian Dillard, mid-1 talent. Russ Grant has early first-round talent. He's still out there. Wow, I thought this was a really good trade. Now, I haven't thought of like detailed rules for like, trading picks that I'm not going to use because I won't be with this team after this year. But I feel like, trading picks and making moves that make sense. I mean, even if I'm not going to have to deal with that, not having those picks in the future, I mean, I think I'd still team build similarly. I'm not being like super reckless. I just try to make trades that I think are pretty reasonable and make sense to me is all. Probably going to sim a little bit further ahead and see if it gets a little bit easier. Because corner is one of those spots where I think we could actually get somewhere. We've moved up 10 spots with the Seattle Seahawks, trading away one of our 4th round picks this year and a 2nd round pick in the future. And we are going to be addressing our secondary. A rare chance for us to go and get a starting caliber player right now. Early 1st round talent. I think this is probably about the spot he would go. Russ Grant, hidden development. Cornerback out of West Virginia. 91 speed, 78 zone, 73 man. Can definitely step in and start right away for us. So, obviously we lose some stuff. We lose TJ Hawkinson. We've lost Casey Cooks, Fred Warner. Where have we gotten better this year? I think that's obviously going to be in the secondary. And hopefully that allows us to have a stable defense. And then can we just figure it out on offense? I don't know how costly it's going to be losing TJ Hawkinson. But I do think now that depth receiver role would make a lot of sense. 2nd round talent, Gilbert Barton is still out there. Justin Leary. So from a talent standpoint, late 2 on Gilbert Barton, who ran 4.46 at 6'6". And then Justin Leary, mid 2 talent with good medium route running, slot archetype. Deep threat Rod Love is late 3. And Trey Betts, the route runner, is also late 3. So Leary gets a slight talent grade boost over Barton. Barton is the more intriguing athlete. At any rate, I don't think I'm trading up to fill this need right now. Not with both options available. There goes Betts. And then Gilbert Barton goes to Tennessee. 7 picks before us. Even a 4th round pick isn't enough for us to move up 6 spots. And we need the roster filled this year with some depth. I don't think I'm moving up for this. I'm just going to hope he's available. Nice pick, Miami. They always draft well in this game, of course. And, all right, we're right here, and the receiver is still available that we like. Let's go get Justin Leary. We need a receiver that can help us out, and with hidden development, Leary's got a chance to step into a role immediately if we don't end up just playing best in the slot. Preseason's going to be a chance for me to at least demo that in the simulating to see how he produces. But we got Justin Leary. We had to add receiver depth. That's a good way of doing it. The rest of the draft, I think we're just going to add depth. I don't think we'll get too many early contributors. So a lot of just BPA at a relative need. And we don't have many linebackers. And it sure seems like there aren't many 2nd round players available. Rashad McPherson, mid-5 projected. We're here in the 3rd round. We need more linebackers. McPherson, 69 overall, can step right in as a run stopper, help us out. Kind of a one-dimensional player. That's okay. All these safeties on the board, and none are hybrid, which is the scheme fit that we're looking for. But staying with this BPA approach, let's go with DeAndre Hogan, 2nd round talent. And he has that 69 overall as well. Man, forgot how easy it can be to just go get decent talent grade players in this draft, in this game. Receiver is still a bit thin as well. I'm not against adding Rod Love right here. And we add a 2nd receiver at 66 overall with 90 speed and 78 deep route running. We'll take Josh Martinez now in the 5th round and add a running back at 64 overall. Was the best player remaining on the board. He's a power back. Gotta take some guys I haven't scouted now, but at positions of need with decent athleticism. Here is Del Red, defensive tackle. 61 overall, which is a good value pick for this range. And we'll select Pearson Malone with our 7th round pick. 2nd to last player of the draft. I think it was an alright draft. We ended up getting an impact corner in the first round. Happy with that, 76 overall. And then Justin Leary, who might be able to contribute, and some depth that if we have injuries come up, these are the positions that we had to get more prepared and don't have a lot of money to do it. All I want to see now is, should I have been maybe a bit more aggressive in trying to add the receiver? I had a couple options available. I really liked the other receiver more because of his size and speed. Gilbert Barton, also a normal development player and not a great route runner, but an intriguing player nonetheless. But maybe with those route runnings, not ready to contribute as much on day one. So with moving around a couple of picks, I wonder if we have maybe a tiny bit more cap space than originally thought. Let's see what we have in preseason. We got 10 million. And with that 10 million, we have to figure out like 4 more roster spots, including a backup quarterback, which is important in this game. For now, we'll go with Khalil Bankston, but if there is an injury at some point, we are going to have to get very creative. And some of these guys really won't be options. I mean, Nolan Barker is available, but you can't even work out a deal. It has to be 7.35, and we don't have that. Darian Rabb. He sounds familiar. Do we have him earlier in this series? If so, he's back. And bring in Mike Hubbard as well out of TCU. A run stuffer for depth. How about a veteran pass coverage linebacker? Here is Xavier Ringer. And he is all about the coverage, it looks like. 70 zone, 66 man. Can tackle as well and hit. Got star dev. Marcus Mosley can be the Steve O'Sullivan replacement as our backup tackle. And I might figure out tight end after cut downs. I've set up our focus players to be Russ Grant, Justin Leary, and Martin Decker. All 3 are going to start. We have received trade offers now for Sean McMillan. Teams are offering a fairly early pick. I mean, second round, like I can't use picks. That doesn't help me. I don't think I'll be trading McMillan. We managed to make it work. I did see an injury here after the first preseason game, though. It is 2. Raymond Warren, the backup center, will miss the start of the season. In the preseason, looks like Khalil Bankston played pretty well as the backup, and that'll be his role going into the season. Sean McMillan, 3.2 a carry. Josh Martinez, 3.1. That's kind of odd to be that inefficient, but pretty much same offensive line. It is the same. And then, I wondered how this role would work out for Chauncey Best. And he was the best performer at receiver. So, we got to give him a chance to show that he can do that. Justin Leary got out there as well for 10, $117, and a score. Rod Love, the rookies, made an impact. Love seeing it. And on defense, good sack production for our starters, as you normally expect. Gio Howard had an INT. Jay Hanna, lots of TFLs. Alfonso Lawrence, the same. Archer Harrison, perfect on kicks. And we're missing Tommy Folk to start the season. Wow. Well, it's a good thing we added some receiver depth, because we're going to need them for the first 4 weeks of the year to replace our top wideout. So now we're going to see what this team looks like without Hawkinson and without Tommy Falk for at least a little bit. And our first 3 games are all in Division 2, like very important games. We can afford to bring in a second tight end in Lane Colley. That'll leave us with $1.5 million in cap space. Wow. They have cleared Tommy Falk after 1 week? So, do you want to play Tommy Falk through a ruptured disc injury with a high chance of re-injury? He can come back the first game of the year. Or he misses the first 4. Oh my. I don't think I'm going to do it. That's the earliest I've ever seen me be able to bring a player back. That's unreal. I don't think that's the best risk to take right now. I don't think we're going to go 0-4 without him. I think that we need him down the stretch if we're to make a deep run, and I don't want to see Tommy Falk get hurt further than this. So, Nathan Fitzgerald's got to step up. Justin Leary. How about Chauncey Best as the slot receiver? And Irvin Jameson trying to carry this team back to the Super Bowl, where we were so close to winning it. Detroit secondary is better this year. I think we made significant moves here with Houston and Grant joining the fold. So, we're trying to run it back this year. 5 years in with the Detroit Lions, and this is the best I've been able to do for them. Didn't go well with Miami. It's already been much more successful with Detroit, and we've made the playoffs every year of the rebuild. So this year, I expect nothing but the same. And the Lions win in week 1, 27-10 over Minnesota. Only 253 yards for the Vikings. Very dominant performance for the defense. 6 sacks. 52% completion percentage allowed. 57 yards for Sean McMillan. Chauncey Best ran in a touchdown. So did Josh Martinez. Receiving, Sean McMillan leads us. Chauncey Best is listed as the slot receiver. McMillan the third down back. They were the top 2 receivers. 170 yards between them. Jameson had less than 100 yards for everybody else combined. Justin Leary, 538 and a touchdown in his debut. D'Angelo Green had 3 catches. Nate Morgan had 3. Nathan Fitzgerald was shut out. But we didn't need him today. 2 sacks for Durr, 2 for Hannah, and 2 split elsewhere. It's a really solid week 1. Breakout player chance, too. It's for D'Angelo Green. So that would be interesting if he had himself a big game. Meanwhile, we're going to be upgrading Justin Leary up to a 71 overall. 3 awareness, 1 short route running. And then you got one of our draft steals of last year, Richie Steeples, to a 77. High expectations for Richie after 8 sacks as a rookie. And we beat Green Bay as well, 28-16. Good day rushing for us. 2 more touchdowns for Irvin Jameson. Sean McMillan runs in a touchdown with 87 yards. Chauncey Best does as well. Keeping that 1-2 punch at running back might be crucial for us. Nathan Fitzgerald had a big day after 0s in week 1. 2 scores for him in week 2. Justin Leary caught 3 balls. Looks like D'Angelo Green didn't do anything in this game. But 2 convincing wins in division have me feeling pretty good, especially with us not at full strength. We're missing our top wide receiver, and it hasn't made a difference. By the way, I know I'm moving on from this team after this episode, but I think before I leave, I have to make sure they're set up for the future with Irvin Jameson, looking for a little over $30 million a season. The market is a little bit different in this game compared to real life. It moves quickly. Irvin Jameson, still holding out for more money. How does everyone feel about a tie? 21-21. We scored 18 in the 4th quarter. Phil Zimmerman had 3 touchdowns. Jameson 1 touchdown on 381 yards. Quiet day on the ground for our offense. We made much more noise through the air with Nathan Fitzgerald catching 9 passes for over 100 yards. Chauncey Best had 104 and a score. Justin Leary caught 10. He can handle the volume as a rookie, 98 yards. Nate Morgan caught 5. So a tie, which means that next head-to-head against Detroit or against Chicago will be a tie-breaking one. I guess we're still technically undefeated at least. Justin Leary upgrading really quickly too. This is the 3rd time I've upgraded him, and this time it's all about the route running. Let's see if we can get the deal done this time and just leave this franchise in better shape than I found it. Irvin Jamison signs the 7-year extension. He'll be going nowhere. We lost to a previously unbeaten team, allowing them to score a safety in the third and then 20 points in the fourth. Don't like that defense. 2 touchdowns on the day for Irvin Jamison. We only allowed like 1 incompletion or 3. Why they played 2 quarterbacks? 2 quarterbacks is better than 1. Isn't that what they say? 4 touchdowns for Donnell Gray. Shades of Matt Asiata against the Philadelphia Eagles in 2013 when he had like 3 touchdowns and 50 yards on 30 carries. Something of that nature. Justin Leary, 8 catches, 73 yards. Leary's been really productive. And he's obviously not the slot receiver, and he's still getting volume. Feel pretty good about him continuing to earn upgrades. But that should be our last game we have to play without our top receiver, Tommy Falk. And to go 2-1-1, I feel good about that. Really good, actually. Tommy Falk returns. Ellis Chapman returns. Raymond Warren returns. All right. Let's get healthier and beat the Bears. Big win for Detroit. 27-24. And Irvin Jamison, again, protecting the football well for us. No interceptions. Finds the end zone twice. 350-plus yards. First game back with his number 1 receiver. He made sure he came back with 106 yards. Morgan had 7 catches. Fitzgerald had 4. And now Leary handling less of a workload. 2 for 26 and a score. Great start for us. We actually have the number 1 ranked offense right now. And, of course, I'll say it again. We've been missing our top receiver. So far, Nathan Fitzgerald leads the team in receiving. But the Chauncey Best move here, I think, is working out. Leary is still averaging more yards per game than him, though. Number 1 offense at the moment, coupled with the number 24 defense. That's got to get better. Breakout player chance. Who's it going to be this time? Keep throwing it my way. Nathan Fitzgerald. So that takes the monster game. That's not super likely. New injury. And it is to Richie Steeples, a torn bicep. Oh, no. Richie is a very important player for this team. And depth is not good on this defense whatsoever. We're going to have to play Mike Hubbard, the veteran, in his place. We win another close game, a high-scoring one, 38-35. So much scoring going down in these fourth quarters. Less yards here for Irvin Jamison today. Only 22 pass attempts. It was time for the running game to take over a bit more, with McMillan finding the end zone 3 times. Best had 32 yards on his carries. Tommy Falk goes to the end zone for the first time this year. Fitzgerald scored. Casey Cook scored against us. Won't tell us if he dropped any passes. And Russ Grant picked up an interception. Nice job by the rookie. But overall, it does seem like the defense is taking a bit of a step back these last 4 games, or really these last 3. But a 4-1-1 start's very good, especially in the NFC North, where things aren't looking good for the other 3 teams. And a big week of upgrading for us. Adam Lilia, +3 pass block power. Starting safety, Martin Decker, he becomes a 76 overall. Justin Leary continues to get upgrades, and we'll know his development in 2 games. And we're still upgrading. Irvin Jamison as well. 90 overall, captain of the offense. You got Tommy Falk inching his way closer to being one of the best receivers in the game. He's currently, he is number 1 already. And then Sean McMillan. We all love Sean McMillan, right? Detroit moves to 5-1-1. Very impressive start. 3 touchdowns on the day for Jamison, who continues to keep the football in our possession. Over 100 yards for Sean McMillan. Chauncey Best leads in receiving, with scores going to Morgan and Falk. Unfortunately, Leary's not getting as much play time or catches, it seems. Houston gets a pick. Lawrence and Hannah, a ton of sacks. And now it's our last trade deadline of the season and our bye week. So we'll do rest and relaxation. But our last trade deadline, is there anything we can do? I honestly don't think so, because we'd have to we have to create cap space. And we just don't have it right now. We're not going to trade for anything of note with under $2 million in cap space. We have one of the best records in the NFL right now, and we'll try to keep it that way. By the way, if you're wondering about a third chapter in this franchise afterwards with Detroit, do we move on to the next worst team? I think at some point we will. Right now, that'd be the Green Bay Packers. I know I'm not controlling them after this year, but I'm still kind of trying to set them up to not be terrible as soon as I step away. I might sign a few players to deals, let them figure out the rest. In a really good matchup against the Falcons, who had a really similar record, we win in overtime. Walk-off touchdown to seal it. Well done. Irvin Jameson throws 2 touchdowns, and Nate Morgan might have caught the game winner for us. Seems like Morgan's having a really good year, and Chauncey Best continues to thrive. And Martin Decker gets an interception this week. It was a touchdown. There's a possibility they got the kick first in overtime and threw a pick-6. I think I want to go with that as the story. The only touchdowns we scored were in the second quarter and overtime. So if you think about when we would have kicked off or put them in that spot of the field, we turned it over once. I guess we could have turned it over and then they threw a pick-6 immediately. I'm saying it was overtime winner, though. We dropped the next game, and the defense does give up a bunch of yards and points, losing 38-28. They've taken a really big step back this year for some reason. Didn't expect anything quite like this. And hey, a season in this franchise wouldn't be complete if we didn't have a frustrated receiver. I don't know what to tell you, Tommy. Back-to-back losses for the first time this year, 35-17. Kyler for 5 touchdowns on our struggling defense. We upgraded the secondary, and this is what we get. Stanley Roberts for $190 and 3. Folk scored. Is he happy he got his stats, even if we got blown out in this game? Russ Grant got an interception. He's got a couple this year. What does Tommy think after that? I'm sorry, man. You called my number and I didn't do enough. That's right. You're the reason we lost by 18. Suddenly, we've slipped a little bit to now take on the 8-2 Tennessee Titans. I think this would be the Thanksgiving game. And the standings are tightening. Wow. The Packers have won 4 straight, making it less likely I'll have to take them over in the third chapter. It was a happy Thanksgiving for Detroit as they win against the Tennessee Titans, showing they are still one of the top teams in the NFL. 2 touchdowns for Irvin Jameson and 1 post-game turducken. Sean McMillan, 88 yards. And Nathan Fitzgerald finds the end zone. So does Nate Morgan. I feel like Morgan's stats at the end of this are going to look really good. Wanted to take a look at our development tier reveal for wide receiver Justin Leary, and now he's 10 snaps away. So I said he was 2 games away from us knowing, but he just hasn't been on the field enough because now he's basically the 4th receiver. We win our next 2 games as well, putting up a lot more points in the process. I think we're going to be the top scoring team in the league this year, and it's Lane Bryant, our old buddy. Has he figured it out after 10 years? This is the best I've seen him play, and we still won by 11 points. Sean McMillan, huge day for him. $114, 2 touchdowns. He's the star. Morgan scores twice. I think Morgan is having an unbelievable season. This puts us at 9-3-1, and the Packers are 6-1 over their last 7, by the way. Pretty good. We also suffered an injury in this week. Let's see what it is. And it's Tremont Spence, the right tackle. So that'll test our offensive line depth, but we're at least a week away from the return of Richie Steeples. A victory for Detroit, 31-28. We're putting up like 30 points a game right now. Jameson was intercepted for, what, 5th time this year or something? It hasn't been many. Chauncey Best continues to have breakout receiving performances, and he's getting a lot of yards per carry as well, or yards per reception. Like 7.6 here for Fitz, 17.8 for Best, playing as the slot. We've won 5 straight and helped put an end to Green Bay's season. 35-14 is the final. Jameson goes for 4 touchdowns in this game. Hasn't done that many times this year. And through the air, Chauncey Best caught 2 touchdowns. He ran 1 in. Huge season for him. Tommy Falk finds the end zone. Tommy hasn't had too many breakout games. Justin Leary does find the end zone as well. And Richie Steeples, yeah, he was hungry to come back. Leads the game in tackles. Tackles for loss. Gets a sack. And on top of that, we've already clinched the number 1 seed in the NFC. Let's see what Justin Leary's development is. Not even going to show us here. Well, first, the route runner upgrade. Not bad. Star Dev. A lot of upgrades for him this year. And he helped out for much of the season. I've made sure the backups would play in the last game of the year, and it looks like the Vikings will be able to score a pretty big win. Not a huge day here for Khalil Bankston, 150 yards for him. We did not run the football well whatsoever while giving up over 200. We gave up 250 yards in this game. Okay. Only 3 catches and 30 yards for Justin Leary. I thought he'd at least stand out in this game. I can't even remember Jalen Ramsey wearing that Rams uniform. But hey, we had the number 1 seed taken care of, and that's all that matters. The Lions on to the postseason for the 5th time of the rebuild. And we get that first round bye, thankfully. 11-4-1 record this year, with Irvin Jameson throwing 31 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Yardage was a little bit lower than I expected, but in line with what he's done in his career. Very good season. Career high in completion percentage. Very good year for interceptions. Highest yards per attempt. Rushing, Sean McMillan. 1,166 yards, 10 touchdowns after not being traded or cut. And receiving, the leading receiver, Chauncey Best. 765 yards. Fitzgerald and Morgan were over 700. Morgan caught 10 touchdowns, helping replace TJ Hawkinson. Tommy Falk did pretty solid. I mean, he led the team in yards per game after missing the first 4. And then Justin Leary played mostly early in the season. Kind of like to see what would happen if he didn't get thrown off, because in those first 4, he had a 10-catch game and an 8, and missed 5 with a touchdown. He was off to a pretty fast start for his NFL career. On defense, the sack leader was Jay Hanna, followed by Alfonso Lawrence and Jeffrey Durr. Mike Hubbard had 3, and Steeples, Richie Steeples, just 1.5. He did miss part of the season, but he still played most of the year. What's his snap count? 273, that was pretty low. Might have to check that depth chart again to see if it fixed it entirely. 2 picks for Decker, 2 picks for Grant. Archer Harrison did miss 5 field goals. Looks like 1 under 40 or 2 under 40 and 3 over 50. Lamar Jackson is the MVP of the league. And I don't think that we did well in terms of awards. But we know what award we're chasing. Let's see who our division opponent will be. We got Washington in the first round this year. I don't think that we've ran into them in the playoffs yet. Once again, we have ourselves a very good team. And the offense is mostly healthy, but we are missing our starting right tackle, Tremont Spence. He could come back for the Super Bowl, but for now, Marcus Mosley takes over. The playmakers are healthy, the quarterback's elite. Hopefully we can put up our 30 points a game again like we have been. Defensively, you never know what you're going to get. But hopefully we can save our best for last and put together some performances that give us a shot at a championship. We were second in scoring this year behind the Ravens, who beat us in the Super Bowl last season and had a better record than us. Could things be setting up for a potential rematch? We did have a pretty good pass rush this year, nowhere near the same defense in terms of takeaways, and in points allowed, we were among the worst. Is this Lions team as good as the previous years? I'm not sure about that. Any game now could be our last with Detroit, and if this is it, it's been an awesome run, a fun experiment. I'll miss this team regardless what happens. But here we are, division playoffs, everybody. What do the Lions got in store? A sack for Jay Hanna and a quick stop on the opening possession. However, we go 3 and out and give it back. First time an offense is moving the football. Washington inside our 30. And they'll bring it to the red zone. And they do score first with a Michael Bryant field goal. Chauncey Best, 14 yards. Penalty. That's a first down. 3rd and 8. Thrown away. Drive stalls. Sacked by Jeffrey Durr. Got that pass rush. And now we got pretty good field position. Got to go get some points. And a loss of 3 for Sean McMillan. 9 yards, though, to help recover. Knocked away by DeMarcus Bentley. Forced to punt it. We pinned them at the 1, but we're not going to be forcing a safety. We end up getting the ball back around our 10. So kind of a old school game here in the first half. Not a ton of offense. Field position's a big narrative. Nate Morgan's moving the ball. Sean McMillan as well. Finally a scoring chance for the offense. And they get 6. Sean McMillan. Only 10 points in the first half. Detroit trying to win a low-scoring one. Morgan for 22. 3rd and 1 to Chauncey Best. Tommy Folk gives us a dozen. There's Tommy. We forgot about him. Inside the 10. Stalling. Kicking the chip shot. And now the defense getting challenged. Inside the 20 to the 5. Goal to go. Tie game. We've won a lot of close games this year, but mostly on the higher scoring side of things. Oh, we're intercepted by Javier Logan. He was with us for much of this series. We didn't bring him back. And we're going to allow a field goal. 23 Chauncey Best. 25 Sean McMillan. I've built the running back-led offense of my dreams. We're inside the 10. Get the touchdown now. There it is. McMillan for the second time. 17-13. Sacked by Hanna. Go 3 and out. No. 23 yards. Ooh, 3rd and 1 incomplete. They go for it on 4th. Extend the drive and then picked off by Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. All right, big addition. C.J. Gardner-Johnson gives us the ball back. And we're trying to put an end to this one. McMillan for 16. Touchdown, Nathan Fitzgerald. 11-point game. Got to get points quick. Sacked by Eli Robertson, who had 5 in the regular season. And a sack for Jeffrey Durr. They'll get the touchdown to Ingram on 4th down and hit the 2. Onside kick time now for Washington. And picked up. We'll have it. But all 3 timeouts remaining. Nice job, Leary, the rookie. Baltimore won, by the way. They move on. A rematch is still possible. Handoff, left side, there he goes. That's a first down and more. McMillan with the hat trick, and Detroit's moving on. A 40-yard touchdown seals it. Detroit to the NFC Championship, and I have no idea who they'll be facing. But one more win, and we head to the Super Bowl. We show we can win a low-scoring one. Defense steps up for us in a really big way, and McMillan finds the end zone 3 times. We made our scoring drives count. Just wish we could involve these receivers a little bit better. Huge pass rushing days for Jay Hanna and Jeffrey Durr. And that brings us to the NFC Championship. Lions host the Atlanta Falcons. And yes, if we make it to the Super Bowl, there will be a Super Bowl episode for this series as the finale with Detroit. Can we get there? And who would be waiting? Wow, Miami beat Baltimore. 8-8 Miami. Wow, Sean Day is going to the Super Bowl with Miami. We gotta get there. Oh, this is perfect. Are you kidding me? It could be the 2 teams meeting in the Super Bowl. If the Falcons rob me of that, I hope Kyle Pitts leaves tomorrow. I don't know if I've ever wanted to win a game so bad. I need this. I need this game to exist. The Falcons have it first. And they are down to the 23. Looks like they're stalling out. Field goal good. We need something big. I want to blow these guys out. Sean McMillan getting us across the 50. Morgan for 13. But sacked. Can you recover? Sacked again. Field goal good. Run defense just kind of getting beat up here. Falcons on the move again. We're already in the second quarter. And, ooh, they didn't handle the long field goal. They punted. 18 Tommy Falk. I want more Tommy. This is not enough Tommy Falk. 3rd and 4. Incomplete. Punting. We already had one low-scoring slugfest. Could it be a second? No touchdowns yet. 3rd and 7. 16 to their tight end. Just across midfield. And going in the wrong direction. Chauncey Best, 20 yards. Go get the touchdown. Come on. 3rd and 5. Tommy Falk, 23. I need more. 5 to McMillan. Field goal range. 11 to Best. 14 Fitz. Sacked. 4. Touchdown, Tommy Falk. 10-3. Never been so excited watching bars move on a field. Don't give up anything before half, Detroit. Come on. Be good about this. Yeah, wrong direction, and we get the ball. Drop by Best. Can't convert. We go 3 and out to open the second half. We might watch some of this. Maybe the 4th quarter if it comes down to it, because this is too good. Got the ball back, short field. Oh, come on, Fitz. 10 to Morgan. Incomplete. Go for it. Yes. Chauncey Best. Stop losing yards. 8. Come on, Archer. Field goal good. Falcons get across midfield. They've only scored an opening drive field goal, but have their best chance. Russ Grant, pass interference, puts them inside the 10. Trying to chip away. Touchdown. 3-point game. We're approaching the 4th quarter, and we just went 3 and out. Falcons have it. Rashawn Gaffney is the quarterback. Trying to lead them back. Thankfully, a 3 and out. 20 to Tommy. Sacked, though. We're on to the 4th quarter. 12 to Fitzgerald. Who wants to watch some football today? I so badly need this Miami Lions game to really show what this format is all about and the potential it has. This is Irvin Jamison on 1st down. He's going to play it smart. 7 interceptions for a reason. I didn't even know Miami was in the playoffs or that they were good. It would just be so perfect, even though I bet the team is way different. They have the same quarterback. 2nd down. Don't throw it to him. 3rd and 10. Jamison protected. Caught. Shy of the marker is Tommy Falk. And it's 4th down. Just a half yard away from converting. Ball goes back to Atlanta. That looked terrible. It was. 9 minutes to play. Gaffney dumps it across the middle for a short gain of 4. The Lions have only allowed 147 yards passing today. Huge step up. Big performances here in the postseason. Gaffney on 2nd down. Knocked away. That could have been 6 the other way. This is the #1 passing game in the league, and we have minimized them here. They got 2 X factors, though, on the left side. 3rd and 6 for the X factor. Gaffney caught. 1st down. Pressure coming. Gaffney sees it and can't do anything about it. He is sacked by Grant. We brought the pressure. It's our first sack of the game. If you can't get it with 4, you gotta send more. That's my philosophy when it comes to defense. Lawrence helped clean it up, but Russ Grant 100% made that play. Well, not 100%, because he would have gotten away without Lawrence there. 3rd and 16. Gaffney got it. 1st down. Gaffney fakes with his eyes downfield. Launches. And it's almost intercepted. I think that's Martin Decker. 4 rush. Pass is caught. It's a 1st to the 34. Pressure coming. Throwing into the blitz, though. You can tell Gaffney's a pretty good quarterback. The ball's out on time. He throws decisively. 5 and change to go. Atlanta down 3. Stuffed. From this spot would be a 45-yard field goal. We give the receivers plenty of room off the line. Gaffney, open and caught inside the 15. Soft defense, soft results. When we get this ball back, what is the score going to be? Trying to keep them from taking the lead. Delayed run, opening up big time, and they're down inside the 5. A 2nd and 12 draw. I can't believe it worked. And now it's 3rd and 2. Biggest play of the Super Bowl, or biggest play of the championship game right here. Gaffney, coverage is good. Knocked down. And that will keep Atlanta from taking the lead. That was Coacher, by the way. Huge pass deflection. Need some air under this one. I think he might have stepped out of bounds, though. That could have been a legal touching, even if this didn't get tipped. Field goal good. Tie game. 3 and change to go. I am nervous. I want this win. I want to face Miami in a storybook Super Bowl. I can't lose if we get there. Running inside. Big hole. And a 1st down for Sean McMillan. Just go get me the cheesiest field goal right now. Run the clock. Has to be right here, and we lose like 4. This is the biggest play for the offense all year. 4-man rush. Jameson, complete. And it's Chauncey Best. A 4-man rush. Out quick. Upfield. It's McMillan. And he circles out of bounds. Get him the ball in space more often. He looked fast there. But I remember Best looked even faster. On 2nd down. All right. That's a 1st. 1:34 to go. Everybody's got their timeouts left. 1st down. Caught! Fitzgerald. Field goal range for Detroit. The run is stuffed again. Ledford can play. He has 9 tackles. Running again. Stuffed. Timeouts used by Atlanta. From here, it's a 50-yard field goal. I'd say run it one more time. That didn't work well either, but we got a yard. Well, has a field goal against the Falcons in an NFC Championship game ever broken my heart in the past? Trick question, actually. I didn't watch the Vikings in 1998. I've seen a lot of heartbreak, but not that one. All right. Archer Harrison, 48 yards, right hash. This is for the lead. Harrison. It is good. Falcons got 33 seconds to match. Returnable. 30 seconds on the clock. Return to the 30. They got to use the sideline, get a penalty, an injury, something to stop the clock. Gaffney dumps it outside. They'll get out of bounds. They traded 5 seconds for just a couple yards. Not a good proposition. Gaffney facing pressure. It is caught. Broke a tackle. And now it's all about the clock. When do you get there? 5 seconds left. They're going to throw this one. Time is expired. And that is the game. They didn't have the Hail Mary dialed up. And the Lions are moving on to the Super Bowl. We are getting our dream matchup by taking on the Miami Dolphins. The first team I rebuilt in this series takes on the second team I've rebuilt. This is a dream come true. This is like Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce playing in the Super Bowl against each other. And we're going to get Tremont Spence back at right tackle as well. So, it's not a rematch with the Ravens, which was my initial hope. But it's actually a little bit better. The Miami Dolphins. We built them up once. Who's even left that we had in that series? Let's go find out. The Dolphins do have Sean Day at quarterback. It's been a while since I handled this roster, though, so who do I even remember? Walter Bartell, I do remember him. Kevon Steele, I drafted him. Frank Turner, right guard. He's a 10-year pro. And we're not going to, of course, see in this game, like, where guys played in what year. Cam Lacey. Andrew Hairston, I did draft him, I believe. Oh, yeah. Like 10 years ago, that's when I took him over. So, I can't remember every pick I made. Joe Godfrey seems familiar. Trenton Norwood doesn't. Victor Middlebrooks. Tyson Charleston. I made the move to go get him. He was on Arizona. I know that. Kirby Bowen. I think I drafted him. I don't know, though. Can't remember anymore. It's just not recent enough. But they got the quarterback that I selected for them, Sean Day. And now, one of these quarterbacks that I drafted is going to win a Super Bowl. Great career for Sean Day. And now he looks for the ring that would really cap it off. What a fun episode that's going to be. That's what these renovation rebuilds are all about, though. And I can't wait for this one. It'll come your way here shortly on the channel. And let me know how excited you are to see it. Please leave a like on the video, everybody, and subscribe to the channel. We have officially one more episode in the second chapter of the renovation rebuild, and it's Detroit and Miami. What a finale. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.